Don't miss a beat, join the notification squad by clicking that bell. You'll get notified every time I upload a video, and be sure to join our Discord to talk and get help with your code.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Ned. Welcome back to another episode of Discord.js coding series. Today we're going to be doing a very requested tutorial. Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Third try, we're doing this. MongoDB, it's a way to store your data in a database that makes it a lot more simple than SQL and JSON files, and it's just a lot more nicer, or a lot nicer rather. So yeah, let's go to get started. This is going to be the documentation for this package. We're going to be using Mongoose as well as an application called MongoDB Compass. You can get that here. You go here, log in, sign up. You can get it for free and download Compass, and yeah. So this is the documentation. We're not going to be really using anything from it. Well, we are, but I'm going to set it up in a way that's really nice. Basically, the way it works is you define a model, which is a schema. Basically, you just give it like a template of how it's going to store the data, and then you go ahead and use that template to store your data with, I'll show you. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm just going to go ahead and close Chrome for the time being. I've gone ahead and created a test report command. I'm only using test report as a command name just because I'm using it on the source code server, so there was already a report command, so I had to change it. But yeah, I've gone ahead and commented out all the stuff that makes the embed, the stuff that sends a message, just because we don't really need that right now. We're just saving it to the database for an example. All right, so you may be asking, what's that data going to look like once it's in MongoDB, and why should I use it? Well, once you get MongoDB Compass, this will pop up. It's just going to have placeholder stuff, port 27017. You just want to go ahead and hit connect. We're going to be doing localhost today anyways, so that's all that matters. I've gone ahead and I've done some examples of what it'll look like. We'll have a cluster name, and then we'll have a database, or rather a database name and then a collection. And then inside of there is going to be a username, user ID, reason for the report, and then reported by username and reported by ID and time. As you can see, this is really clean. It's just nice overall. I really like how it looks. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this database, and we'll create a new one here in a second. So now that we're in the code, we want to go ahead and install we want to install Mongoose. So once you're in your bot folder in your directory, go ahead and do npm install Mongoose. It won't do anything on my side probably because I already have it installed, but yeah. All right, so the first thing we need to do is open up a connection, and to do that, we just want to go ahead and const mongoose equal require, and then we'll go ahead and do mongoose, and then mongoose dot connect, and inside of here we're going to do a MongoDB path. And to do this, you need to make sure that MongoD is running. And on Mac, I don't know how it's going to work on PC because I haven't tried this on PC. But to make sure it's running, just go ahead and do MongoD in your terminal. If you are on Mac, if you're on PC, join the Discord server. You have any trouble doing this, but yeah. And there it is running. So, all right, now back to the code. So to declare that you're using a MongoDB server and a localhost one at that, we need to type MongoDB ://localhost, and then we want to define what database we're using. So I'm going to go ahead and say we'll just put reports. It's nice and clean looking. Now that we have that done, the connection is made, and we can technically run this and it'll connect to our server. The thing is, or it'll connect to our database, rather, not the server. The thing is, we want to store data there, so we need some kind of schema. The way MongoDB works, it uses a schema, which is like a template, and then you can use that template to input data and then save that to the database. So let's go ahead and create the schema. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and create a different folder, and we're just going to name it models. And inside of there, we're going to create something called report.js. Whoops, I gave it a little extra on the end. Let me fix that up. All right, now that that is done, let's go ahead and we'll need a couple things. So const mongoose equals require mongoose. And then we'll need to create the schema itself. So const report schema equals new, or rather mongoose equals mongoose dot schema. And then we'll do, and it'll basically be like an object. So the first thing we want to do is have an ID stored. So ID, and then this type. So here is where, so this will be the name. If we look here, did I delete it? I did delete it. Okay, that's fine. But if you remember, there was a some kind of like key, and then there's a value here. So now here we need to define the value type. And to do that, we're gonna do, for this one at least, we're gonna do mongoose dot schema dot types dot object ID, and the comma, and then we're gonna do username, and then we'll just, this one will be a string, and then user ID. This is also going to be a string. The reason for that is because it's a 22 character number. Technically it's a number, but if we save it as a number, there could be some problems, and it's just better to save it as a string. Then next we need reason, which is also going to be a string, and then we can do reported, or reported by, and then string as well. Reported by ID, string as well, and that's going to be the person that's reporting this person. So next we want to save it the time, which is also going to be a string. I'm sure there's a better way to actually save that, but for all intents and purposes, this is what we need. So I believe now that that is done, we can go ahead and export it. So module.exports mongoose.module, and then we're just going to call it report, and then we want to save the schema here, so report schema. All right, now that the schema is made, we can go ahead and use it. So to use it, we just go to our test report command here, and then we want to require it. So const, let's see what I call it, report equals require // just go to your modules and then report.js. Whoops. And then once you require it, we can go down here. And I'm just going to put a couple spaces, give us some room. That way we get all that crap off there. All right. So now that we have the schema in our report command itself, and we have the connection being made, actually I want to put that down here, just to keep it nice and organized. All right. So now that we have that saved, we want to go ahead and create a new report. So const, whoops, if I can type, const report equals new report. Oops. All right, let's try that again. There we go. Curly brackets inside, of course. I'm just, oh, cancel. I don't know what that was, but cancel. All right. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and start building the data that we want exported, or rather saved, to our database. So I'm going to go ahead and put _ID. And then here we want to do basically the same thing, except not quite. Objects, or mongoose dot types dot object ID, and this is going to be a function. And then I hate that. All right, username, and then here we're going to put our user.user.username, and that just gets the username of the person being reported. User ID, and I actually want to change something in the schema now that I think about it. So we're going to change our username, and then we'll do our ID. All right, so user ID, reason, our username, our ID. So this is actually, yes, okay. So our user.id, and then we want to do reason, which is just going to be our reason, report reason. And we can see that from up above. Whatever you save your variables as, just remember them, and then we can and place them in instead of what I'm using. But yeah, so now we need to grab, let's see, so our username, I believe, which is just message.author.username, and then our ID, message.author.id, and then time, message.created at. All right, and I believe that is done. So now we have the data being outputted into a new report, and to save that, we need to just go ahead and do report.save, and then we can go ahead and do, let's see here, report.save, and then we're going to do a then function, and we're just going to output the results rather with an arrow function, console.log result, and then we want to catch any errors. So catch error with an arrow function in console.log that error. Right, so we should be done. Let's go ahead and just message.reply that report has been saved to the database, and we should be golden. So let's go ahead and look at our Compass app again and make sure nothing's there. We're good. So let's go ahead and run the project and let's see if we have any errors. All right, everything is loaded. Let's go ahead and go into Discord. So now I'm just gonna report Mason. Report, or actually we need to test report because that's my command. And then we're gonna do report at Mason being too cool. All right, it says that report has been saved to the database. So let's go ahead and look. We need to refresh. All right, there's reports. There it is. So Mason username, ID, and we can change it, of course, but we're just going to cancel that. Our ID, which is my ID, and then our username is Ned. That's my name. That is the time, and that is it saved into the database. That's going to be everything today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this has been long awaited, and I'm sorry that it took so long to get to. It's just I've had so much to catch up on and everything. So yeah, if you have any problems or anything, go ahead and join our Discord server. If you have any comments or anything like that, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.